Hi, it's Rebecca Wiedemer with Golden Grove Global in partnership with Rocky Mountain Food Partners and the American Culinary Federation, bringing you another video in our series where you will hear from chefs on the topic, given the current COVID-19 situation, what would you have done to prepare? What are you doing now? And what are your plans after the restrictions are released?
My name is Hailey Raskovic. I'm a sous chef at the University of Colorado in Boulder. I've been there about 8 years now. The building that I work in has, I think, about 8 different restaurants. And then we also have 3 more restaurants on main campus, as well as 2 that are not on main campus. And right now, the one that I'm working in, the Center for Community, we are the only ones open. All the other ones have been closed for the semester, which usually would not happen at this point. We also had run into some issues. We moved around different restaurants within the building, trying to find what was going to work best for the new grab-and-go style setup. But all that moving around kind of created some disorganization and some confusion among the guests and the staff. And it was just hard because we didn't have a set plan. You know, we were like, we'll try this. But the next day it was, throw that plan away. We got to do this instead. Which was good. You know, I think everybody worked really hard to stay on track and just be flexible and adapt to the new changes as they were coming in. But yeah, it definitely caused some confusion and some disorganization all around. So our hours of operation are different, but we have been open this entire time. The other buildings on campus have closed down. We only have we've been doing about 130 people a meal, which is far down from our usual like 4,000 or so. It's been an adjustment, but it's also given us a lot of opportunity because we get more freedom with the menus and we have more room for creativity. So it's really given us a chance to fine tune some of our small dining culinary skills, which usually, you know, it's much more of an industrial big batch setting. So that's been a really cool experience for all the chefs involved. We have it set up right now, so we have one person at each stage of the buffet, and it's all as spread out as possible. We're utilizing parts of the kitchen that we hadn't used before or that we wouldn't have thought to use in that way, just to make it work and get as much space as possible. We have markings on the floor for where the guests are supposed to stand, making sure that they're further enough apart from each other, but also further enough apart from ourselves, because being in a kitchen, it can be really tight. So it does take a lot of monitoring and having people set up in specific stations or areas that they're kind of locked into for that shift. That way they're not moving around or getting too close to one another. I think overall it's been harder keeping the distance between the chefs more so than it has been between the guests. We changed everyone's schedules, so people are only working 3 days a week for 2 weeks and then having 2 weeks off. And that way we can reduce the amount of staff that is working at one time. Again, so we're not all kind of piled in on top of each other. We also have changed our hours of operation, and we have a large time during the middle of the day where we're closed, which is used for prep, but it's also used to sanitize and to deep clean every surface that's in the building. So usually during the summer months, once class isn't in session, we usually focus more on conferences and camps. We don't really have as many students on campus. So this summer is going to be really different because we will have no students on campus and we're not doing camps or conferences. So right now, their plan through the end of the month is to have us all go and keep continuing to deep clean the other buildings and all the kitchens, pretty much so clean you could operate in it, you know? So that's the plan so far. It's really changing and developing fast. They're not positive what the end or the middle of the end of the summer is going to bring. And they have yet to make a decision on if we'll be having in-person classes in the fall. Yeah, just be flexible, take it day by day. Try not to stress about things until you get there, you know? It's a really uncertain time for everybody, but I think that panicking is just gonna make it harder. Just stay as organized as you can and roll with the punches as they come. If you'd like to contact me, if you have any further questions or are looking for some advice, you can send me an email at hara5729@colorado.edu.
Hi, I'm Chef Nick. I'm the corporate chef for Pecinka Ferri, which is a manufacturer's agent in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. I support all the salespeople day in and day out, not only them, all the dealers for the lines or brands that we represent here in the territory. I do product development, recipe development. We also take the end user's product and make the equipment work for the end user. We're a sales-based organization, marketing and sales. So if you were looking to come buy let's just say pizza oven, a Marcel pizza oven, it's one of my favorite. You would come in with your pizzas or your dough and your sauce and cheese. We make some pizzas. We see how the oven bakes. We can compare it to a Baker's Pride or a Doyen or a Turbo Chef and see how the comparison is and evenness and stuff like that. That's what we do. So that's before the sale. After the sale, I work with the customer. We develop the recipe in the oven or the settings for the oven, how it works, and make sure the customer is comfortable with how to use the equipment correctly, clean procedures and stuff like that. We actually do everything besides a regular hood, believe it or not. We do from fine china to seating, tables. We do stuff, everything back of the house from slicers, mixers, ovens. I mean, I have a couple of convection oven lines to deep fryers to you name it. We have it in the back of the house. Again, we even have ventless hoods. We just don't do regular hoods right now. We also do like cool stuff like dispensers and stuff, especially in this day and age with COVID. So it's non-contact stuff like that. It's pretty wild. And we also do a whole line of stainless steel. There's and we actually just picked up the whole entire beverage line. So now we do espressos and coffee machines, fully automatic, semi-automatic, and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool learning about all that. A couple of years ago, we had moved buildings, and they had everything on one server. And when we moved buildings, we weren't able to get that company, so we lost everything. So I decided to take over, and I made everything cloud-based. So everything's in Microsoft, not Microsoft, Office 365 online for all emails. Our website's cloud-based, so it's not with a provider like Comcast or Optum Online, so we weren't able to use them. We lost everything. We lost all our back history and all our back emails. So I made sure everything was cloud-based, everything accessible from home. So even if they had a desktop app here and they were home, they could just sign into the web and pull everything they needed to work from home. So I would say we were 95% better off than most people. I even changed all the faxes to come into as emails instead of print out in a printer anymore, just to save on paper. All the phones are VIP, so we switch them directly to everyone's cell phone, and everyone's able to work from home. Yeah, I usually have hand sanitizer around. I'm very particular with sanitation. As a chef, as you know, it's important to me. I wash my hands constantly. I use hand sanitizer constantly. My kitchen's always clean. I always tell my staff, your mother's not here to clean up after you. Please clean up your mess. So they could all attest to that one. But yeah. Now we're working from home. Our culinary center is currently closed. Everybody's working remotely. I've been doing a lot of demos via the internet here. It is very challenging, but you know, it's everyone's acceptable to it right now, and I just can't wait to be back in the kitchen. But again, it's going to be a matter of time before we could do that, and we have all the stuff in places to make sure everyone's safe. So we actually just put together a team. It's me, myself, the 3 owners, and the bookkeeper on a reopening task force. I was very lucky. As we are the manufacturer's rep, we don't sell direct. We work through a network of dealers. They actually are in full supply of stuff. They are actually doing home care packages to people as well. So I was able to get masks. I was able to get gloves. I was able to get hospital grade disinfectant. We have antibacterial soap, wipes, and thermometers. So we've been working around the clock to figure out ways to implement reopening and making sure the safety of our customers and our staff is up to speed there. So going forward, our procedures are going to be, they're going to come in, we're going to take their temperature, they're going to put a mask on, they're going to wash their hands, they're going to stand 6 feet apart. We actually have TV screens in our test kitchens where we will be making a safety video, almost like going to Disney World. You watch the safety video before you head on the ride. That's what we're going to be doing, and we have a procedure of what to do if the people bring food in. We're going to sanitize the containers. Have a separate table and go from there. People staying 6 feet apart. We may even put plexiglass shields on the counters to prevent me from being in contact with the customer. Again, making sure that they don't have a temperature coming in, that they understand our rules and regulations for when they are coming in, cleaning all the products, and just making sure it's a safe environment. And they know we're taking it, upholding that every time someone leaves, that we're disinfecting the place and making sure it's safe for the next customer. And we've also done that as well. We've talked about staggering out demos, possibly doing every 4 days, disinfecting. So we're still in the works of figuring out how to roll this out correctly, because our business is based on demos and people hands-on coming in the test kitchen, and me shaking a lot of people's hands, and the continued support that I still give all the customers day in and day out. So it is very challenging. We're still working through those challenges. And again, we're here in New Jersey, which will be on lockdown for, I think it's like June 7th or 14th now. So it was extended. It is a long time. Be wearing masks. What we've done is there's separate entrances to the back of the building, to the front of the building that connect, which is the office part to the test kitchens. That door will be locked. Nobody will be allowed in and out opposite way. We're going to try and keep the office staff at home as long as possible. But again, when they come in, we'll take their temperature. We'll give them a mask. And then they'll have to wash their hands after they put their mask on. And then they want gloves, we could offer them gloves. But only after they wash their hands. You know, it doesn't hurt to ask around and see what other people are doing. I have a network of chefs out there across the country. They do the same thing I do, and I don't hesitate to ask. I reach out to them and see what they're doing, because again, they're reopening before me. Yes, we were the hardest hit. We're going to have some more challenges, but you may learn something. Someone had a great idea of putting cocktail tables out, and that's where instead of boxes on the floor, it's more of a nicer environment. They have to stand at the cocktail tables, you know. So something like that, where it could just be a minor thing, which be a huge perception when someone comes in. I always stay true to myself, and if I don't learn every day, then I need to be out of this business, and that's what my motto is. So I'm always pushing myself. So even though I've been home, I've always pushed myself. I got a plethora of books behind me that I've been reading. I have some. I do have Marcel in my backyard that I've been playing around with pizzas and learning by myself. So I'm always pushing myself. But you know, stay true to yourself and continue to learn and grow, and it'll take you where you don't know where it'll take you. So check out Chef Mercogliano to see all about me. You can also check out PecinkaFerri.com/COVID-19 for more information on what we're doing at Pecinka Ferri to keep our staff and customers safe.
My name is Remick. I am a first-year apprentice student through ACF. Currently, I work in an assisted living facility as a lead cook. So we have two kitchens. We have a main production, and then we have a smaller production kitchen. So I cook for probably about 50 total on my side. Then I help delegate and assist with the servers on anything that they may need or any questions that are brought to me. Really, I think about looking back to the beginning of when this all started. I think at that time it was a little uncertain where it was heading to, or how bad it would be, or how bad of an impact it took on the food industry. In my opinion, I didn't know, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't know how it impacted our work environment. It's hard to prepare for something so unprecedented. We did have some rules in place in the beginning, which I thought was pretty good, just at the get-go. The basic fundamentals of just hand washing, sanitizing, a lot of sanitizing, more so now than ever. That's just basically about it. It's kind of hard knowing on the trajectory of how a virus will spread. And now we know how fast it spread, especially I think we took the right steps right away because of who we're working with. Right now, they are eating in their suite. So we have a system to where we have to prepare the foods in little to-go boxes. We're not using our plates, our utensils, or even our napkins, our cloth napkins, for infection control, cross-contamination concerns. You know, we work for the residents. We want to protect them and keep them healthy. And then, you know, and that's by cooking some good, healthful, nutritious food to begin with. And that's number one. That's a top priority. Doing temperature checks when you come in, beginning of your shift and at the end of your shift. Trying to keep track of your symptoms. So that's what we've been doing collectively. And I think right now it's been doing really well. And we haven't seen an outbreak in my facility. We had face masks that we would wear on a daily basis. It's kind of hard to work in a kitchen 6 feet apart. It's kind of close quarters. I'm educating my servers on the hows and the whys. We wash our hands a lot throughout the day. Sanitation, disinfecting high-touched areas like doorknobs, counters, the walk-in door handle, the freezer door handle, just the basic fundamentals, and that's all it comes down to, really. Limiting face touching is a big one, especially when we have to wear the mask and we're constantly adjusting. As far as a infection control issue, everything will still be the same and should continue. That should never lax in a kitchen. In my kitchen anyways, I would prefer just the kitchen staff to be in there. As you know, and it's a liability and a safety issue in the first place. We have extended a protocol to where only kitchen staff is permitted in the kitchen. Of course, you know, no office staff, especially the care staff who are working with these residents, are not allowed in the kitchen to grab what they need for the residents. So that helps limit the exposure, possible exposure, infection control, just to keep that at a minimum. I know I haven't been in the field for a long time, and I keep reading and hearing stories about other cooks and chefs out there that are just struggling right now. And I'm blessed to still have a job, to what I enjoy. And all I have to say to them is just keep on hanging in there and just be positive and just keep praying that this will blow over soon, because I'm wanting that too. If anyone has any questions about how our nursing facility is being run or whatever, they can certainly contact me for sure. And I can lead them. I can, you know, answer their questions or lead them to the right person. Exactly. they can contact me through my email, remickhardy@gmail.com. I'll welcome any questions or any concerns that they may have.
Thanks for watching this informative video. If you have any questions, you can reach out to the ACF directly or me, Rebecca at goldengrovglobal.com. Cheers.